on yet.
And we're live.
We're live. All right, guys, welcome back to the Horror Returns. I am Philip, and with me, as always, is my awesome Alaskan. Say what's up, Brian.
What's up?
This week, Lance is going to be on his big trip to Vegas, but will he join us next week for the big 100th episode? That's okay, because tonight we have some very special guests for you. All the way from the Horror Mafia podcast, it's the Murders Row of Donnie, Joey, and Bill, and maybe Tanya. How's it going, guys? What's up over at the Horror Mafia these days?
Hey, konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa.
There you go. We're getting with the Yakuza now.
Yeah, I got to put some aristocratic pinky up like Joey did.
How you doing?
Mm-hmm.
That's classy.
Classy yet trashy. That's my style.
So where can we find you guys at?
Brooklyn, New York. How you doing? You can find us on horrormafiapodcast.com. You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/horrormafiapodcast. You can find us all individually. Joe Colombo on Facebook. Don is
Donanelli.
Oh. Good luck,
and Bill.
Trying to spell my last name, Cassinelli.
Catch him in and out of Facebook jail on multiple different handles,
different profiles with the same name.
Oh yeah, he likes digital crime.
And live on YouTube apparently. That's what we're doing today. So thank you guys for letting us hone in on your Google Hangouts and helping us with our production duties this week while the big man's gone. Aside from that, we usually start with our cool of the week. So we're skipping a few segments this week since you guys are in. What's the coolest thing that you've seen this week? We usually let our guests go first. So Joey, Donnie, Bill, who wants to take it?
Take it.
Well,
Joey.
I take it the best, so I guess I'll my body produces a lot more, natural fluid. So I will hone this one first. No, I actually got to the cinema this week and saw A Quiet Place, and that shit was really good. It was an experience. It's a good way to define it, an experience, because while watching it, I was like submerged in it. Then when it ended, I had so many question marks, and then looking back in retrospect and thinking about it and talking about it, I got to see it again. It's definitely my initial thoughts were like 3.5, then it went up to a solid 4, and depending on a rewatch, I might even go up to a 4.5. Definitely not a 5 out of 5. I've seen people post, "You got to see this movie." I mean, don't get me wrong, it was a great film. It was an experience in the theater because there's a lot of silence. But that could go either way, right? I had this one guy that would be like, "Come on, motherfuckers! What are you doing, bro?" I'm just like, I wanted to turn around, but I didn't need an all-out war at 10 at night in the movie theaters. So
there was a guy who was talking.
Oh yeah, it was
wow.
It's like I had the riff tracks behind me. I wanted to fucking pile drive him through the fucking stage,
Even Brian's theater was quiet during that one, and he's had problems during every single movie.
Numerous problems, but I had a completely silent theater.
Yeah, it was, but I'd say about halfway through he must have conked out, because then it got pretty good the rest of the time. But yeah, it was a little annoying. It's like, dude, have some fucking theater etiquette. It's 2018. People should know about theater etiquette and spoilers. Enough is enough.
They should put those monsters in the theater. That'd shut some motherfuckers up.
Oh yeah, Like, thinking about the monsters, like, you don't get much, but then it's like, all right, I gotta go back and look at the trailer and pause in the scenes, and so you can look at the newspapers and see all the headlines, because they don't say it in the actual film. It's just on a newspaper headline, but it's like just a quick. You see like some meteors, it's not. You don't hear any like commentary from. Like, how you watch Night of the Living Dead and you hear like commentary from the TV and the radio throughout the film. You don't get that, so it's just, you're in the moment, you're in this family's life in this moment. It goes from like day 89 to day 100 and something, and it unravels. But again, it's one of the new, I like to call them horror dramas.
I like it. Make it
Instead
some
of
extra
calling
stuff
it,
on the rewatch.
Yeah, instead of calling it I know Bill doesn't like this, the slow burns.
No, that's just called a movie.
Yeah, so horror drama. You know, it plays like an A24 film.
Yeah, we gave it some pretty good reviews here.
Yeah,
what else you guys see?
I don't. Aside from like our, you know what I fucking saw this week?
What?
Mrs. Doubtfire. Hello, boy, hello. Oh man, hysterical! It holds up.
It was a run by fruiting.
Yes, dude, it holds up until the end. So I hate to go, way off on a tangent, but just real quick. In the end, right, Pierce Brosnan's character, he chokes on a shrimp, right? And he says, "Oh, I'm allergic to pepper," right? Dude, you're allergic to pepper. You can't eat any of the fucking food, probably. You don't think they use salt and pepper and everything?
So I thought you were going towards the fact that it's supposed to be a comedy, and the end is fucking depressing. Oh, can I say fuck on here, by the way?
Oh yeah, we are definitely an R-rated podcast. It's in the little intro that we didn't play before we started live, but
I'm well aware.
It'll be on the audio. By the way, guys, if you want to see the video of this, go check it out on YouTube under the Horror Mafia. I guess I don't know where to go.
But yeah, Horror Mafia podcast on YouTube. We don't have a ton of videos, but this one will be up there.
Cool. Yeah.
Keep it.
So,
yeah.
If you want to hear the show live,
video commentary,
hit pause and go check it out on the video.
Check it out. Yeah.
As for
Miss Doubtfire, real quick. So he comes back. Remember, he sees him choking on a shrimp across the restaurant. He runs across, throws in the Heimlich maneuver, and he's all good. As somebody who almost fucking died from a shellfish allergy, that's not the way it works.
Well, that's a good point.
You don't choke.
They just should have had him fucking choke on a shrimp, and that would have been that.
Sure.
Like he could have spiced them up. He saw hot pepper, spiced them up because it's fucking hot pepper, and then he choked. Done. Why does he
Dumb
have
and Dumber style?
Yeah, little plot hole. Just
little plot hole.
Something I noticed that I didn't.
It's in a movie
25 years ago where I was not noticing that. You know what I mean?
I
was more
never
concerned with the fake body and the kids laughing at him, and
I want to know how that freaking
there's so many
Harvey Fierstein over there could do Hollywood effects makeup on the guy.
I watch with my 6-year-old daughter, and man, a lot of questions come up watching this movie.
Yeah, so
how do you answer them now?
Actually, she's 5, not 6 yet. Shit, yeah. Okay. So watch this with the teenagers; they'll get a kick out of it. But, a lot of stuff went way over her head,
Yeah, a lot of adult humor in it.
I feel like it would have been rated R nowadays. There's a lot of cursing in it. For a family movie.
It'd be rated R because it's smoking a cigarette now.
Yeah. And a cartoon, nonetheless. In the beginning, there's a scene where he's voicing characters, and the cartoons are smoking cats.
Right. That's why he was mad.
Smoking cigs. Yeah. Crazy.
Oh, Donnie, what'd you see? That's really great. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off there, Jimmy.
Nah, just our Jersey Shore movies we talked about, and real quick, just one other movie next to the Guardians. 2 movies I watched with my kid it's called Night Moves, KN Night Moves, starring Christopher Lambert, and what's his name? Alec Baldwin's brother, Daniel Baldwin.
Stephen, Sean, Daniel.
Oh, yeah, I forgot he has 8 brothers, and a very young Diane Lane.
So 1990 something, I assume.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw Night Moves. I'm kidding.
it was great, actually. I enjoyed it. It's like a thriller, and the killer, is it's like chess themed, hence Night Moves. If you're a fan of Lambert, Highlander,
both of you out there,
and you're
Combat and Nightmare. Night Moves.
Night Moves. Yeah, check it out. It was interesting. Not the best, but if you like those early 90s, late 80s thrillers, yeah, check it out.
Cool.
I think I fucked up by telling Donnie to go next. There's a list coming.
Oh no, we're gonna have lists. I'm sure.
No,
I had to
only
watch
got
every Ring, every Grudge, and then I fought them off myself.
You'll fucking fit right
Tank
in,
top
dude.
versus tank top. It's on.
Ask Brian what happened. He'll get there.
No, I only got to two outside of the two show podcasts. Both of them were reviews for other websites that I write for, called Asian Film Vault. They should be online by the time you hear this, but if not, fuck it. First one is a kung fu film from the '80s called Holy Flame of the Martial Worlds.
That sounds awesome.
Dude, it is fucking phenomenal. It is one of those films where people spend half the film flying around instead of walking. They literally just fly into the air, perform cartwheels and somersaults instead of walking. That's like their mode of transportation.
It's like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Horror.
Yeah, but so it's about these warring clans are trying to get at this sacred scroll that contains the secret of the holy flame, which is actually it's not a flame, it's actually swords that have a crystal. Yeah, they're swords that have a they're swords that have a crystal in it, and they're supposedly like, magical or mystical or whatever. And these clans are after this couple that possesses it. The couple gets killed, and their two kids are taken away. One by a good clan, one by the bad guys, and then they raise them up to fight each other.
So now it's Kylo Ren and Rey. Okay.
Well, I wouldn't know. I don't know who the hell those jackoffs are.
Outside the horror genre.
But no, this is fun. I mean, you got people flying around on walls. You've got people shooting laser blasts out of their fingers. You've got people laughing. They call it the devil's laugh, where they end up just laughing and it produces a gale storm wind that knocks people off their feet and sends them hurling 30 feet away.
It's physics.
Oh, dude, man,
those motherfuckers are weird, man.
Okay. There's a scene where a guy takes a running leap, jumps across a 30-foot lake, hits a waterfall, flies through the hole in the back without touching anything, stops in midair, does a triple somersault, and then lands on his feet, 30 feet inside the lake.
I did that one.
And he doesn't touch anything. Yeah, he doesn't touch anything. He makes like a 90-foot leap, does a triple somersault, comes to a stop, and lands on his feet. So yeah, you're not going to get any kind of realistic physics on this, but it's
falling with
90. Yeah, it's 90 minutes of pure martial arts mayhem. It is so much fun. So yeah,
awesome.
The review for that one should be online soon. The other one is somewhat related to this. I had to get one of these movies in. It's a Japanese horror film called Kamera no Towai Ao.
I love that.
It translates to "Don't Stop the Camera," but you'll find it under the title "One Cut of the Dead."
Don't stop the camera. Keep shooting.
Okay.
Keep shooting. It's okay.
No, okay. So check this out. This is incredibly creative. It's a film in two parts. The first half is a 40-minute long one-take sequence. One take, 40 minutes.
Like
and it's
Hitchcock did that.
No, it's like 40 minutes long.
Yeah,
there's
Hitchcock did a whole movie that way with one take.
I would know. I've never seen his work other than the only three that matter.
Okay, go ahead.
What would those be? Psycho,
Frenzy, and Birds.
Yeah.
Psycho, Frenzy, and Birds, the only ones that matter.
Oh.
But so it's this director who's trying to shoot this low-budget zombie movie, but he's so pissed off at the incompetence and lack of professionalism from the actors and the crew that he summons a zombie horde from out of the ground to attack the crew so he can get realistic reactions from his cast.
So these motherfuckers would wake up and go to work.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lazy ass bitches.
Fire the fucking effects guys. We don't need them. We'll just kill real people.
So that's the first half of the movie. And then what we find out is that this is all part of a TV show. It's all a project by a network that's trying to do, one-cut movies. and we go back and we see the casting process, the behind the scenes, the rehearsal footage. But we come to find out that the pressures of the filming make everybody like go batshit crazy. So the actual 40 minutes that we see earlier is actually just pure dumb luck and coincidences that he manages to pull off.
Nice.
So it's like, the camera guy is so drunk off his ass that he can't shoot a camera straight. So he's got to do found footage kind of filmmaking because he's dragging the guy around on the ground. So that way, that's how you get the camera to, jerk around all the time. Because
Let me ask you something, Don. Is it, being that it's two separate types of films that way, is it two different directors or one?
No, it's one. It's presented as one movie.
Okay.
The first half is just is like a presentation of the show that they're trying to film. And then they're going back and showing how they did it.
Cool.
So it's not a true anthology, but it's actually it's kind of, I don't know what to call it. It's a lot of fun.
I get you. That's why I was wondering if there's two different directors or not.
Yeah, no, it's one move. It's one, but yeah. So I mean, you get stuff like the sound guy, ate too much sushi, so he's got the shits and he can't sound, so he's got to have everybody stall for time while the guy gets his shit off in the woods. Or he's got to reshoot around a zombie because the actor got so scared going live that he just got drunk off his ass and can't do anything.
Nice.
So yeah, he's got to work around all that. So yeah, it was really fun. It's kind of cool and creative. I don't know if it's released in America yet, but when it does, you'll find it under One Cut of the Dead.
Cool.
Nice. So you jumped headlong into the Japanese horror this week, huh?
That's every week.
Oh, when I do
every week.
when I do stuff like this, I dive head first.
There you go, man. That's the way to do it. Bill, what'd you see?
I got to watch. The first thing I saw this week was I got a screener from Arrow Video that was Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
What?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I got that a couple of weeks ago, but I didn't get to watch it until this week. So awesome freaking movie. Still holds up. And the special features on this thing, you got to see it. I'm not going to give it away. There's so much stuff. And the second thing I watched this week was, believe it or not horror. It was The Office. I started watching that show, The Office.
Yeah.
And
I've always thought about it. I've never actually seen it all the way through.
Yeah,
I've watched Parks and Rec, but never The Office.
Same with me. I was the same way. I saw an episode of Parks and Rec. I saw the UK Office, like one episode, didn't like it. But now I'm balls deep in The Office, the US American. There's a serial killer in the background of the show, which is really cool. The Scranton Strangler.
Yeah.
I'm loving it, man. It's great. So those are the two things I've been watching. Oh, sorry. Three things. Netflix has a new show with Joel McHale, the guy who was on, remember the show Community?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. The lead
He
guy.
did like
he has a
Talk
show.
Soup or something, huh?
Right. He did the Soup. and
He did Great Outdoors. The
Great
damn thing got
Indoors. Yeah,
canceled.
great show.
Yeah, I fucking love that show. I'm
So did I.
pissed as hell that they took that off.
Yeah,
that was
2
hilarious.
seasons, right. Well, he's got a show on Netflix. You got to check it out. It's a weekly. It comes out new every Sunday. And they go on showing, like, remember how, like, the Soup would do these things that they find funny stuff on TV?
Mm-hmm.
Same kind of show, but with cursing.
Oh,
and you guys,
Nice.
and lots of guest stars.
I love cursing.
You want to piss your pants? Joel's International Corner will make you. Oh, geez, you'll see. Just watch it.
it's where Tosh.0 got his idea, man.
It's just like
I like
Tosh.0.
it.
Right. There's internet and shows. Check it. And in fact, we did a Jersey Shore episode for the Mafia last week. Well, I saw those clips first on this show. Check it out, Joe. You'll love it.
familiar.
Yeah. It's called The Joel McHale Show with Joel McHale.
You're going to name a show. Why the fuck not?
Right. Redundancy is redundant.
Brian, man, you got a list?
No, I was busy. I got one movie in. It's first time watch for me. Demons from 1985.
Oh,
Bravo, yeah.
Yeah, so I fucking
love this movie.
Yeah.
I love the makeup effects, and there was a lot of gore. I mean, you got a fucking guy riding a dirt bike through a movie theater with a samurai
that scene-
sword.
yes.
Well,
that they choose
With
fast as
some
a shark for that
badass songs
sequence.
playing in the background.
Mhm.
Fast as a shark during that sequence. Oh, that's a 10 out of 10 movie. I don't even have to review it.
nice.
Yeah, I mean, I figured
Just that you,
it's on
just
Shudder.
that you put.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, just because you just be putting that song in there and that sequence makes that a 10 out of 10 movie.
Yeah,
I don't blame you.
yeah. I figured it was on Shudder, and I never used my Shudder account ever.
I know, right?
I just started looking through, and there's a lot of good movies on there.
Bought the damn
sure,
thing and
stuff
it's
that
just
came
sitting
up.
there.
Within
And,
the past year, they stepped it up big time.
Yeah, and I've been trying to catch up on some Ash versus Evil Dead because y'all probably heard it got canceled. So,
What? Oh
Yep.
no!
Yeah.
Well, that's our news segment that we missed. Sorry, Brian.
But yeah,
Man,
that's
I love that show.
yeah, that's pretty much all I got in. It was a busy week. So, how about you?
Man, I got kind of an uncool of the week. I'm gonna say the
Uh-oh.
Walking Dead finale was sort of a letdown.
Shh, no spoilers.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what spoilers to give you anyway because nothing really fucking happened. So.
I hear not a lot about that program.
Yeah, man, it's been downhill for a little while, and that's I think that's maybe my uncool. My cool of the week, I really wanted to go see Super Troopers 2. I haven't had the opportunity yet.
I'm going Saturday.
Yeah, but I did rewatch the original Super Troopers, and
Nice.
Yeah.
it is awesome. Every effing scene in that movie is so funny. It's one of my favorites of all time.
Have they ever
So.
made a bad movie though? Come on.
Yeah, I mean, even their bad ones are pretty fucking good. So
Cold Dread's one
I'm
of my
looking forward
favorite
to.
slashers.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to Super Troopers 2.
Yeah.
At some point, I will get away and get real blazed and go watch it.
My man,
Hey, movie pass.
live like Phil, baby.
Mm.
Hell yeah!
All right.
I had a tough decision this week in the cinema. I wanted to see Ready Player One.
Oh, you
Yeah.
still haven't seen that yet?
I
Good.
still haven't seen it, but I was
Oh,
like,
check it out.
I gotta go with A Quiet Place right now because it's a late. I went to the late showing, and it was an hour and a half versus 2.5 or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, that's chalking it up. But I was like, I gotta throw it towards the horror genre.
Mhm.
Maybe I'll catch Ready Player One this week. If not, whatevs. Blu-ray.
Yeah. They're both a cool experience in the theater. A Quiet Place, just because typically you don't end up people who are talking, except apparently you, because
Yep.
somebody got eaten in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Joe, you have a movie pass, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Just making
That's
sure.
a jam.
Yeah, I came out of the movie and Truth or Dare was starting at like 12:05, and I was like, I wonder if I could use this right now because I could check in,
Yeah. You could have.
but I didn't. I was shot. I was like,
Oh, really?
yeah,
Probably just
but
walk right
it's
in.
good to know. Note that something to do. Double header, late
Mhm.
night.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it for our cool of the week, and it's time for our featured attractions. This week we take a trip to Japan with their classic J horror films. So Ringu is going to be our first movie.
Ragu.
Ringu.
Hey,
Ragu.
fuck that jaw sauce.
Fuck me. Ringu. The Ring. The Japanese version. The director is Hideo Nakata, also known for Ringu 2 and Dark
Oh.
Water.
Oh shit.
You may remember that one.
No, I was just I watched the one with the cartoon lizard. I thought you guys talking about Rango.
Oh, God damn it.
I was going, why is this horror?
He's neither Japanese nor horror.
Like Johnny Depp in a horror movie? What is this?
Starring the Geico lizard.
Yeah. Our writer was Hiroshi Takahashi, also known for Ringu 2 and Don't Look Up. Shizuko Yamamura is based on a real person. Shizuko?
Donnie?
Donnie, you want to help me out?
So, which one?
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Shizuko Mifune?
Tomoko Ishii.
I don't know.
I think you're making names up here because I don't recognize that name anymore.
The person it's based on, the real.
Anyway, she was born in 1886.
Shizuko Yamamura.
Yeah. That's based on a real person. So
Yeah.
they were born in 1886 in Kamamoto Prefecture and was rumored to have the gift of foresight. After a demonstration in 1910, she was proclaimed as a charlatan and committed suicide a year later by ingesting poison. So, loosely based on a real person. Craziness. Koji Suzuki got his inspiration for Ringu the novels from his favorite horror movie, The Poltergeist, which definitely shows up later on today. The highest grossing horror film in Japanese history, despite its super low budget. What did you guys think of Ringu?
Well, I'll give you my initial thoughts. It was the first time watch. I've seen the original, not the original. This is the original. I've seen the American version when it came out, and I was a teenager. And that one when it came out, I enjoyed it. I haven't seen it since, so I wonder how that would be, holding up all these years later. But watching this one as the source, I had an idea of it, and man, it was an experience. At the end, I was just sitting there in awe, like, wow, this is a really well done film. Especially this is 1998. It came out, so precursor to all the cliche that now you see, right? With the I reviewed a movie last year for, I think, Bloody Bits or HorrorTalk.com. I don't remember, but the antagonist was girl, long black hair, right, covering her face. And what are we here? 2018, it's 2017 last year. So
fucking 20 years later, man.
They're still using this. It's now become a staple in the genre.
Yep.
So
it's
this is an iconic film right here, and you got to think about things here. What is the catalyst to making this film, right? But like you said, I didn't know it was based on a true character,
true person.
A little more insight.
No, Sadako's not based on a person. Her mother is.
Right, the mom, the psychic.
The mother is the psychic.
But what if?
Yeah, the mother is not satanic.
Huh?
Interesting here. I didn't know that. See, I'm thinking like, maybe they made this because of like technology, right? I mean, at the time, you have now this new thing called the DVD. You have this new thing called the internet. Versus
who?
The internet. That thing that we're on right now.
What the fuck is the internet? Hey,
that's that invisible shit that connects us all.
It's all about the win.
It's that invisible shit that connects us all. That's it.
There you go.
But I'm just in my mind, like, I read a lot of Kurt Vonnegut, Ray Bradbury, and all their literature is about government, politics, technology, and how it all affects humanity. So I'm going in thinking like, this might be some kind of experience, some kind of message that technology could wipe us out, right? 1951's The Pedestrian by Ray Bradbury is a society where everybody lives in an apartment with an air conditioning unit and a constant TV broadcast, where you just become the robot, and you're just like that cattle that's hooked up in a to some tubes and used to produce milk. You know what I mean? And that's it, waste away. So anyway, I kind of paralleled it to something like that, where this tape is now slowly snowballing and starting to wipe out humanity. So I mean, that's the kind of lens I came at the film, after watching it. I'm like, what was this movie really about, next to the horror aspect to it? Because I mean, you guys know we're all genre enthusiasts. There's a lot of subtext and socio-political talk and stuff like that behind the actual events on the screen, even though some of us don't like looking at it like that, right? Because it gives them a headache. Hey, T.
Hi.
Oh yeah, we have a special guest here tonight.
Sorry, my smoke alarm was going off at my apartment. I had to go check it out.
Welcome. How's it going?
Oh, better now that everything is okay.
Welcome and bienvenue.
Great way for me to shut up and segue to somebody else.
All right, I'll take it. I'm not going to go deep like into the stuff behind what I thought, but I did see I saw Ringu first, and then I saw the American version.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I gotta say, I owned Ringu first on a bootleg I got from some convention, and I gotta say, I loved the first time I saw it, right? But I have to say that this is one of the first times I said, "Wow, the American remake is actually better than the Japanese original."
Absolutely.
Even though it was the same director, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, the Nagata did the second one.
Oh, was the guy did the second one? Did the first American one?
No, Nagata did Ring 2. The American remake.
No, the American Ring 1. I
know the American Ring 1. That's Gore Verbinski.
Oh, that was Gore Verbinski? I didn't realize that. Wow.
Oh,
yep. Gore Verbinski from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, I know who he is, and I had no idea he did that. But I gotta say, I like that one better.
Because I don't have it.
Bill,
Yeah,
let
he
me
did
ask
part
you.
one.
Don,
No, I was gonna say Verbinski did part 1, and then Nagata did part 2.
Gotcha.
in the American versions.
Yes.
In the American versions, right.
Okay. Now, I wanted to ask Bill, what was it that you liked better about it? And in my head, like, I haven't seen that movie in 20 plus years,
Right.
but I'm thinking maybe the pacing here, because in this version there was like definitely a lot of slow scenes, a lot of long shots.
No, I like that. I don't mind
could have been a slow,
you call slow burn. I know. No, I don't mind that. What I thought was that things like it looked ultra low budget, and the fact that in the American ones, when she killed somebody, right, Sadako killed someone, you saw their faces were contorted, their bodies, even though it was a PG movie, it looked shocking.
That opening scene, yeah.
Yeah. And in the original one, it was just like a freeze frame on black and white. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
But little things like that and the build up with the tension, I thought was a lot better done in the American version. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate this movie by any means. I love it.
Right. No, of course.
But it just didn't work this time for me that it did 20-something years ago.
Nice. Yeah. Donnie, what you think? You agree?
No, I still have this one over the remake, not by much, but I have it over it.
Did you see this one first?
No, I saw the remake first.
Okay. Yeah.
I have a story about that. Trust me, I have a story about that.
I'm sure you do.
No, it's the same one I told you guys. The
I'm just
audition boxers. Yeah, the audition boxer's omen story that applies to Ringu.
Oh.
So yeah, I'll tell you guys afterwards.
All right.
Yeah, but yeah, no, this is like the second or third time I've seen the original, and there's a strange issue I have with it, and I don't know if we are going to go deep into that later on, but it's one issue that's just always nagged at me, and it's something that I've never quite been able to explain why it lowers the film for me, but it just does for some reason. But other than that one problem, I don't have much else wrong with it. It's a lot of fun. It's definitely creepy and eerie. Although one thing I did want to touch on with Joe was that the long-haired ghost girl look that you see Sadako have, that's actually a Japanese not stereotype, but it's more of like a cultural paradigm. It's called an onri, and it refers to a malicious spirit. I can explain that, for ages. But,
like an urban legend, basically.
Right.
Not necessarily urban legend.
Their lore.
Not urban. No, it's not urban legend. It's closer to lore, like what Bill said.
Okay.
Yeah, it goes back to samurai days, where stories would revolve around people meeting malicious spirits and ghosts, and they were called onris in the original language, which was malicious spirit. That's the direct translation as best they can make it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that was always the look that they had. It was pale faced, long black hair, and completely white. There's film from there's numerous adaptations going back, from 1800s even. A story called Yatsia Kaidan that employs that kind of white-faced, black-haired ghost girl, and it's been a staple of Japanese society for hundreds and hundreds of years. So it's not just Sadako that popularized it. It's just that's the first one that made it to America.
Right.
So
yeah,
no, there's
kind of straight from the Kabuki mask.
Right, exactly. That's sort of where it came from, because the original Yatsia Kaidan story that I mentioned, it is a Kabuki play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Yatsia Kaidan, for those interested, is an adaptation.
Both of you who are interested.
No, like I said, I can explain this for hours. I've gone into this in detail, but it's been the pale face, the white clothes, the black hair, and that's always sort of just embodied the Japanese spirit, and you can see that in movies from the 50s and 60s even. So it's not just modern day times like Ringu and Ju-on and some of the other ripoffs that came out in its wake. It's been a staple of the country's output for decades and probably even hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Which is cool because it's kind of the creepy Japanese culture that has, finally made its way to America.
Mm-hmm.
The original movie, The Ring, Well, I guess it's the remake, but
I mean, I there's probably other words and other cultures for these same kind of I guess not deities, apparitions, spirits, ghosts, basically, right?
Yeah.
But they're vengeful, right?
The Japanese ghost story.
Yeah.
Right. I'm sure, like, if you this is all the way in the East, you look all the way in the West in some old school Native American texts, I guarantee they have a similar ghost. Maybe not the same appearance, maybe more like wolf-like, right?
But they didn't even have VHS.
I'm sorry.
Like a Wendigo.
VHS.
You mean like a Wendigo?
Yeah, Wendigo.
Like
right.
a Wendigo.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yep. So it's pretty cool that this stuff links up, like
La Llorona.
La Llorona, right? Spanish, Mexican, right?
There you go.
Well, I mean, that just it just to me that kind of just embodies like the primal fear of like a humanity thing, where it's how would all of these cultures have a similar story if they never met each other?
Because there's some creepy shit going on.
I was gonna say, because it looks fucking creepy in every culture. That's why.
But I'm saying is that how would they have been able to come up with that concept if they never met each other? It's like I said, it's a primal fear of mankind that it has to connect to.
I agree with you, man. I like it. Brian, what you think, buddy?
Before I go, we got someone joining us. I think she should introduce herself. And
yes, she should.
Oh, I'm Tanya.
What'd you think, Tanya?
I'm with Bill. I saw the remake first, back when it came out on not VHS, but DVD.
It was
as
VHS
most
too.
people probably did. Yeah.
My dad had a video store, so I rented it from him and watched it.
She had to rent movies from her dad. How fucked up is that?
If it was new, I had to rent it. But
hey, there was only so many back in the day.
But he wouldn't let her watch the 17 and over movies because she wasn't 17. I'm kidding. I have no idea.
It's 30s.
They're still not old enough.
No, I like the remake better. I know, to me, the remake was, for me, it was scarier.
Scarier, right? I agree.
Yeah.
They had a little better budget, so they had some some better special effects and stuff.
Yeah.
Not only that, just the way, for me at least, the build-up for the suspense was better. You saw more of Sadako.
Joey, you watching it?
It just finished. Watch the end of the verses. You know?
Hey, now he's caught up. All right.
I thought your kids were still awake.
No. I fell asleep. I knocked out on the guys, you know.
Oh, it's all good.
Typical Joey, you know.
Oh,
But
yeah.
hey, I got it in time for the segment.
There you go.
But what do you think about the Japanese version, though? Okay, so the American version you liked better. I get that.
Yeah.
Was this one pretty good for you, or?
No, I really enjoyed this one. Yeah, I was surprised. It wasn't as scary to me. Maybe it's because I knew what was going to kind of happen, versus where when I saw it the first time, the remake, I didn't know what was going to happen.
Now, does it fall into the category of like must-watch horror? You know,
I think so.
Like as far as, you know, Exorcist, Evil Dead, The Thing.
I think it does.
Yeah.
Ringu or The Ring?
I think you should watch both.
Oh.
I mean,
watch the
symbiotic. Cover song be better than the original. we're going back to that conversation.
The Blob, The Fly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd love to revisit it. I saw Rings last year when that came out.
Okay, stop right there.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, I didn't think it was as bad as I thought it was gonna be.
No, I didn't see that one yet. I didn't even see Ring 3D. I want to see all that shit.
Well, I think if I saw Ringu first, I would have been scared. But where I saw the remake first,
I was scared.
I knew it was going to happen.
I was, but not as much as The Ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was definitely very creepy. You know, the atmosphere. I like that they don't, give it all away, right? Like it's not like she's popping up on the screen from the get-go all over the place. You get that little, especially knowing this, like, so, looking at it for the first time, no watch, you see this little arm about to come out of the well, and then the tape cuts out. Seeing the I keep saying the original, seeing the American version, right? Even though I didn't see this, it's almost like seeing it already. So I know what's about to go down, and it's like, that suspense right there. So, it works, both ways. If you watch the American one first, that one first, but the fact that it came from a novel, man, I would love to delve into that and see what's. Because you go into a book, it changes everything. I mean, you could be in.
Well, if you're gonna go for the novel, there's actually a 1995 TV adaptation that's even more faithful than this one is.
I've got that too. It's called. What is it called?
Sadako?
No, it's called.
No, it's
Reason.
Called.
Oh, Raisin.
No, Raisin. No, that's not.
Raisin.
That's a sequel.
No, it says
Raisin's a sequel.
No, it says short movies that were inspired to make The Ring.
No, Raisin is a sequel.
Would you like to see the box? It says it's what inspired The Ring.
I don't know. I'm just saying. I know that Raisin is based on the sequel novel to The Ring.
Belako versus Danaku.
Benaku and Danaku.
No, Raisin is based on the sequel novel Spiral.
All right, I'll be right back. Hold on.
I can only imagine what his video collection looks like. He has everything.
He has so much.
He has everything.
Man, it's definitely classic for me. Well, Brian, you want to go first? Or you want me to go?
I'll go real quick.
All right, cool.
I thought it was well made, well acted, but I was bored as shit. There's nothing happening. They watched this video over and over for an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And you don't see Sadako.
All right, guys.
Oh, there it is.
What does that say?
Hold on, your camera's not on
in
it.
the sun.
You want the truth?
Put it back on.
What the hell are you talking about?
Put it back on. There's too much glare. I can't see.
All right.
Hold on, there we go.
All right.
One of the films that inspired The Ring. One of them.
Yeah.
One of.
Yep. It inspired The Ring.
Technicalities. We'll get into that.
It's not a sequel.
But you didn't give it to me. I received it.
Rip it.
Oh yeah. Go ahead, Brian. I'm sorry.
I was nothing happened for almost an hour and a half. And then you just wait. I think this is one of the rare times where a remake is actually, for me personally, better than the original.
I agree, Brian.
Yeah, and I might get a lot of shit for this, but I will probably never watch this movie ever again.
I could definitely understand that 100%. I mean,
Yeah.
if I never watch it again, it's not the end of the world. But so it brings that good question up, where Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Evil Dead, right? The iconics. Is it really on that list?
Well, I think in combination with the English version, I think it's on that list. Because I think in the remake, the English version, they basically redid the same movie. I mean, there was a couple of things that were changed, but more or less they kept the story the same and just put in English actors, which with a bigger budget and better special effects.
Right.
Yeah.
I felt like you could tell during Ringu that the special effects were obviously low budget, like you were saying, the black and white thing instead of actually going to the face of the dead people. It was definitely creepy. I think it's definitely a must watch at least once. Just
definitely.
go see it if you've never seen it.
I mean, it's part of the crucial canon,
Yeah,
but it's not part of, somebody's personal. I mean, it could be part of somebody's personal favorites, but it's not one of those. It's like when you watch a slasher movie, right? Like you come back to that antagonist. You know what I'm saying? Where here it's like, this is a film. This is not, like this should not have been a constant array of sequels, or maybe it should have. I don't know. Don, you tell us. You've probably seen them all, but like put this next to Rings. It's like you don't need Rings.
Right. But it's like the first Friday the 13th movie. Is basically what this is in Japanese, and I think the American version was scarier, but they're both pretty classic, man.
See, but then you take Friday the 13th and you put it the American version. I mean, the remake version.
I like the Japanese version of the American.
Could you imagine a Japanese version of that? They don't know what he is. He may be wearing some other kind of mask.
You die, Kevin Bacon.
Saki head Jason.
It looked like Cannibal. He's wearing a catcher's mask instead.
Right. And Saki, on the other hand.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I do have a question about this, though. The Ringu.
Oh, wait, hold on. Well, so Friday the 13th, you put a bigger budget, right? Some, better actors, quote unquote.
It's called 2009. Yeah, they did that.
Yeah. And it's definitely not better than the original.
No, but still good.
But they also didn't retell the exact same story, and they did it,
uniquely, right?
Right.
Like
its own story.
Like in this one, it was replacing foreign for domestic.
Sure.
Right.
To get the audience.
Even money. Yeah. And I think that they did it really well. They kept a really cool Japanese feel to it.
Sure.
And it started a whole Japanese horror trend.
Phenomenon in fucking America with everybody wanting to see Dark Water and The Pulse.
Yeah. Americans were not really familiar with, and that's probably one of my favorite horror styles. I like it, man. It was I do like the American version better, but I think this is a classic. It's super cool to go back and watch where the roots came from.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. 100%.
Wow.
Although I do have one question at the end.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I had an idea. At the end of the movie, she's trying to figure out what she did that he didn't do, right?
Oh, yeah.
Why she survived. And I'm like, well, you hugged the fucking waterlogged corpse of the dead girl.
Well, yeah, that'll do it too.
So I thought maybe that was why she lived. Because she hugged the dead body.
But that's not what the guy with the towel on his head told her.
That's what I'm saying. He's like, wait, huh? She's like, what did I do? That was different.
Yeah, they connected some weird dots in the Japanese one. I thought it made a little more sense than the American version.
So yeah, that was kind of weird.
Plus, she was like, I mean, you know, just the acting on it and all. Like the chick was super erratic. When something happened, she'd be like freaking the fuck out and
You cannot blame her.
in the corner, you know.
Had 1 day left. Come on.
But no, it was still a good watch, man. Definitely worth checking out. What do you guys think on scores?
I'm at a solid 4 to 5.
Out of 5?
I think it's a great film. It does hold up, but at the same time, you know, I'm not going to be revisiting this one again anytime soon. You know, I mean, I might down the line, you know, if we ever get into a franchise retro or something like that. But, you know, it's not like I'm going to have a Blu-ray on standby ready to go. It's not like a yearly watch, but it's a great film.
I'll just say this, Joe. There's 14 films in the franchise. I don't think we're doing a retrospective.
No.
Those Japanese
Yeah,
dudes.
I've got like 4 of them. Yeah.
No wonder they were so excited about that Sadako versus
Kayako
or whatever.
I got Ring 0. I got Ring 2. I got Ring. What is that?
Ring 27 and a half.
Yeah, I don't have 3D though. 3D or the last year's one. I don't have. Hey,
well, there's actually there's a couple.
Yeah. Go ahead, John. Don.
No, I wasn't saying anything.
Okay, Phil. What is your rating score from 1 to what?
We usually do 1 to 10, but 1 to 5
okay.
Cool. Yeah.
Then just double it.
Yeah.
Double.
So that was a pretty kick-ass score, man. So you're saying 4 to 5 out of 5? That's
an 8.
That's fucking classic, man.
An 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10.
Nice.
Solid 8.
I can go 8 too if you're doing that scale.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah, same here. 8.
Wow. I'm going
Across
7
the board.
and a half.
7 and a half.
You gotta be fucking
7 and a
difficult,
half.
Bill.
No, I'm not trying to be. It's just the fucking black and white still frame thing gets me every time.
Yeah.
7 and a
Brian,
half.
what's
It's almost
the
great.
4.
4.
4 out of 10.
Ooh,
Wow.
we got bored in. I'm gonna give it a 7.5, just because it's got so many roots in the American version.
Exactly
The American version,
right.
I'll give it 8.5.
That's exactly what I was saying, dude.
Yeah.
8.5 for the American, 7.5 for the Japanese. Yeah.
I think they're both on a must-watch list if you're checking out horror movies.
Agreed.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay,
Sweet.
on to our second movie of the evening, Ju-on, The Grudge.
Oh, did you say Brandon's on?
No, Ju-on.
Speaking of Jews,
Ju-on?
speaking of Jews,
I get it.
on our YouTube,
I
on our
did not
YouTube-
see that coming.
on our YouTube chat,
I did not see that coming.
on our YouTube chat right now, Jeremy Friedman from 22 Shots,
Speaking of which,
new power with 3 exclamation points, and then 9.5 Jersey Shark Attack Anelli.
Whoa.
Jeremy.
Fucking feedback on the fly, man. I like it. So Ju-on, The Grudge. Trivia. We got the director and writer, Takashi Shimizu, also known for the U.S. version of The Grudge, and Reincarnation. This film is the 3rd installment of the Ju-on series.
Fourth.
Not bad. Yeah, if you go and try to look it up, man, there's a bunch of other Ju-on stuff that's not The Grudge. So
A lot
be
of
aware
Jews
of that.
in this, yes.
I'm like
The film is
messaging the group. Am I watching the right movie, guys?
I was trying to show you pictures. This one, not this one.
Like, dude,
There's
you
a lot
watch
of
the Blue Boys in all these movies.
The
yeah,
Blue Boys.
and
Yo,
they all
dude,
seem to
you
be
watch a lot of
connected.
movies of Blue Boys. Is a problem.
So there's like Ju-on the Curse and the Curse 2,
Yeah.
and
Right.
their storylines are all continued in this sequel. Is that right?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
One bleeds in. Ju-on the Curse 1 bleeds into Ju-on the Curse 2.
Yeah.
Storylines from Ju-on the Curse 2 bleed into Ju-on the Grudge 1.
Okay,
Right.
that makes sense.
Which all bleeds
Right.
into one, though. The curse. with
So
the father with the thing.
Kayako and Toshio are based on the Japanese legends of the Onryo, a vengeful spirit that was unlike Western ghosts, which we talked about already, actually.
Yeah.
Kind of the same stuff that The Ring was based on. Can physically manifest to attack and kill victims, whereas our ghosts are just energy and can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the manifest, when they are killed, is in a state of a deep rage, as explained by the opening title card. Thus the whole grudge situation.
Mhm.
So what did you guys think about that one? Joey, we'll go to you first.
Again, I'll kick it off. You know,
Well, why not?
I'm
We're
good
going
with
in
it,
order,
baby.
man.
I got it. Actually, unlike The Ring, where it wasn't The Ring. Unlike Ring, 1999, Fanguta Saramingera Butana. Instead of
That's
Ring
before
98,
Mafia, ladies and gentlemen.
I thought this movie was boring. There you go.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm feeling how Brian felt about Ring with this one. I caught myself. Well, I think the fact that I was confused as all hell it plays a major factor in here. I'm watching the movie and I'm like, I can't tell who's who, what's going on. It's breaking up. There's just like a Japanese symbol on the screen. I don't know what the fuck it means. Like, what is this? A new chapter, a new segment, a new day? I have no clue.
Very Pulp Fiction style, huh?
Oh yeah. So when
Oh
it's
crap! That's how they make that movie. Oh fuck that shit. Then I don't need to watch it.
Yeah, but see, when you watch Pulp Fiction, it makes sense because you can follow along as it's in English. It's not like you have to fucking manage reading subtitles while listening to a native language.
I've managed this one just fine watching it in subtitles.
Not me. I was like, dude, what the fuck? I was just sitting there scratching my head. Although by the end it starts to make a little more sense, See, I never saw the American Grudge. I don't know anything about this franchise at all.
Oh,
so going in knowing absolutely nothing, right, makes it hard to follow. Where when I've seen The Ring, so I had an idea of it. So when you watch it, there's a little bit of familiarity, right? Where here, I was just like thrown into the deep end of this franchise, and like I said, I'm like trying to figure out. I'm reading Wikipedia synopsi to figure out if I'm watching them, and it's all the same characters, fucking killing cats and their wives, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck? It's the same thing. So
the ghosts
in my
kill
head,
everybody.
And according to what I read, and I thought that The Curse and The Curse 2 were television versions, and then eventually made into feature films, The Grudge and The Grudge 2. Is it no? Is that not right?
You're close. No, Ju-on the Curse is a continuation, actually, of a Japanese TV series called Gakko no Kaidan. That was originally a Japanese movie from 1995 that produced 3 theatrical sequels and then 2 television sequels. Now, the theatrical sequels were titled 1, 2, and 3, or 2, 3, and 4. And then the television adaptations were F and G. And Gakko no Kaidan G is the starting point for The Grudge, for the Ju-on series.
So they had a whole...
The storyline...
This just picks up in the middle of a giant series.
Right, yeah. The Gakko no Kaidan series, if you pick up the Blu-ray, the DVD edition of the American remake, you'll get 2 Japanese short films on that Blu-ray. Those are the segments from Gakko no Kaidan G that spin off from the Ju-on series. Okay. If you have the Blu-ray, if you have the DVD, those are included as extras to give you an idea of where the franchise starts. Now, Ju-on, yeah, Ju-on the Curse 1 basically starts off where you realize Toshio's dead, and his school teacher's going to find out what happened to him, and then he falls under the curse of the curse of it. But then it also goes back and details how Kayako and Toshio were killed.
Oh.
And then there's another story that details a schoolmate, a friend of theirs, a friend of Kayako's, not Kayako. There's these school children, one of those, the urban legend of the house and all that. They end up getting caught into it, and then in part 2, that storyline is continued where one friend is killed in Ju-on the Curse 1, the other friend is killed in Ju-on the Curse 2. And then in Ju-on the Curse 2, you get the girl Izumi that ends up getting killed here in Ju-on the Grudge 1. So when you see the sequence where she's looking at the photographs and she sees all the friends with the blacked out eyes, those are the people from the 3 films. Because her friend is included in it. That's Ju-on the Curse 1 and Ju-on the Curse 2 that they're included.
So that makes sense because they acted like you were supposed to know some sort of backstory during this one.
Right, yes. Yeah.
Are any of the other ones on the same level as this?
The American part 2 is actually kind of complex because there's 3 stories in that one. There's the sister from part 1, she's the Sarah Michelle Gellar, her sister's trying to figure out what happened to her, and then she falls under the curse. Then you see the sequence where, the girl from, the apartment building, she's being stalked by the girl. And then there's the 3 school children that you see getting attacked. Now, in the Grudge Part 2, the second storyline, that continues off into the Grudge 3, the made-for-TV sequel. That spins off into that one, but then the other 2 storylines they're completed in the Grudge 2.
So that's the only one. Final Fantasy games with the titles. Final Fantasy 2 is really Final Fantasy 6. However, Final Fantasy 4 is really Final Fantasy 3.5. What?
What would you think about this one? It was I mean,
who, me?
Donnie, does this fall into classic horror movie? Does this make your list as far as Japanese horror goes?
I'm not going to beat around the bush. Alongside Houseu and Boxer's Omen, this is among my top 3 favorite Asian horror films.
Okay.
I don't have a favorite, but that's my top 3. Houseu, Ju-on the Grudge, and Boxer's Omen. That's my top 3.
Cool. Interesting. See, I found this, I don't know, like at the end, after I figure out, like, okay, all these little stories are little stories, broken up into chapters by character. Each section, I guess, is named the character's name. So, yeah, if I would have known that, it would have made a little more sense watching the film. I think when the scares happen, they happen effectively. I think
that's what I love about it.
Right, the look of the film.
That's what I love about it.
Yeah, the look of the little blue boy and the chick. I think they look well. No, and the chick did not look good actually in this film. And the special effects. No, the special effects in this.
Even at the end.
Oh, at the end, yeah, but like that just shadow that you see throughout the film.
Oh, I got you.
Kayako's creepy.
Yeah, when you get the actual reveal, when you get the reveal, it's good. But it's like you see the shadow, just like little black blob thing. This was after The Ring in 2002, so I was like, dude, these effects sucked. But budget, I don't know what the budget was or anything. So yeah, I was a little taken back by those effects. Like, oh, what's up with that? But again, the scares were done effectively, I thought. But I thought there was a lot of time just playing through here. Scenes are just playing out slowly until you get to the scares. And I don't know, maybe I was taken aback because I was trying to figure it all out, so I couldn't really focus on when your brain is turning like this, it's hard to just sit back and really be like, all right, let me take it all in,
Yeah.
Trying to like,
because then you got to figure out where you're at with each new person when they just thrust you into the middle of it.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. It's bad enough I can barely say these people's names, None,
Now I got to keep track of them.
Yeah. Dude, after the scene with
Kayako, Sadaka, I don't know the fucking different names.
like 15 minutes in, it's like the chick's cleaning the house, and I'm like, is she related to this lady, or is she just a social worker that's really nice?
I thought the same thing. I was like, is that okay? No, that's not the same chick. I'm
What
pretty
about
sure.
when the beds were hung out to dry with the poop stains in them?
Right. That was
Good social
pretty
worker.
Yeah, I really can. And dude, what's up with these movies and social workers? Like, I feel like the other movie too was about a social worker.
Common thing.
No, she was a reporter in the Ringu.
No, but he's
Not
talking
when,
about the other one.
Versus.
Oh, and Sadako? Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. Okay, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
I was just curious if that was a theme throughout the franchise.
I thought it was cool in this one.
No,
I think
that's
it's
just
volumes.
No, that's just Japanese heritage. You take care of your elders.
Yeah, it's their culture. They'd have people for
Right.
that, welfare
Yeah.
workers.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah, that's just
nobody's heard from you. Let me come check up. No, more like the police will be kicking in your door here in the U.S. and you're doing something wrong. Nobody's heard from you for a week. It's kicking your fucking door.
Man, fuck it.
But over there they send a nice
Silver alert.
soft-spoken woman to come make sure everything's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't wait to get home. No.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting though. Having the character could have been anything, but a social worker, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, somebody who tries to help the situation. Bill's favorite SJWs, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Bill and Tanya, what'd you guys think?
Well, I will go first, Tanya. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. I was biting my tongue the whole time you guys were talking. I'm one of the people who saw The Curse first and Curse 2. So,
Did you?
Yeah. And
Nice.
I love both of those movies. However, they were shot on video crap. Like the effects sucked. And it was like watching a home movie of like a guy shooting with his friggin' cell phone. But the story was great. And the idea was awesome. So going into The Grudge, I was blown away. I fucking love this movie. All right. Knowing that it's like a kind of an anthology on everyone who dies in the house, like it shows their name. It's like their story on how they died. And knowing all this to begin with. And the first thing I thought of was Pulp Fiction for horror. So yeah, you guys took that from me.
Sorry.
And, no, that's all right. All right, buddy. In fact, no, I knew what was going on. I loved it. I sat back. I said, wow, the production value is so much better. In addition to the creepy ass effects, like just walking through a scene and like seeing the kid in the background and not focusing on that, but you see it as the viewer. Amazing. Some of the scariest friggin' camera work ever without using like digital effects or special effects of any kind. Just a pale kid in the background or under the covers, like the lady. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Yeah. This terrified me. This movie is one of my favorite Asian films of all time. So I got to hand it to him. Never bored me for a second. I was all in from the get-go. This is amazing. This is how you do a jump scare without a cheap jump scare. Just have a kid meowing.
It's interesting how, like, going in with knowledge of the other stuff, enhances that experience.
Yeah.
Where going in knowing absolutely nothing. Like, I didn't even know what kind of a ghost or anything
Oh, right.
was. I didn't know a damn thing about it.
This was the first one on the franchise I saw, so I was going in blank when I first saw it. Because I saw this even before I saw the remake.
Really? Me too.
Yeah, I saw this one.
And I gotta say,
No, I saw this one before. I saw this one before the remake.
yeah, me too. And the fact is, once you see the remake, I'm like, God, does the remake suck?
Really?
Compared to this, yeah. I did not like that at all.
This is the only one I've seen. I haven't seen the remake.
Yeah, the remake's like a manufactured, like cookie cutter thriller, PG-13.
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Sarah Michelle Gellar, I thought it was Jennifer Love Hewitt for some reason. I'm mistaken the name. Sorry.
They fall in sync.
I know. Big boobs with different colored hair, right? And but yeah, she moves to Japan. The same kind of story, just not as good. It was all paint by numbers. This, you ain't fucking safe if you're a kid. If you're a fucking nobody is safe. If you step foot in that house, you're dead, no matter what. It's all amount of like when and how. And some of the scariest ghosts I ever saw. Another thing I was going to mention was the fact that in Japanese culture, ghosts can kill you. Not like here where they slam doors and like open a drawer. No. Like poltergeist, no. Bullshit. This shit, they kill you.
Yeah.
I'm never moving to Japan then.
Right? Japanese ghosts are mean motherfuckers.
Yeah, and they don't
motherfuckers.
discriminate. It's like you're a kid, I don't care, you're dead. Anybody walks into this house, you're dead. There's no way to escape it. And everybody. Can you imagine like all the police who came in to investigate? They all died. They showed that in the movie. They mentioned it.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody survives, whoever walks in.
And I thought that was kind of a cool little slight difference to it. It was, you know, it had kind of an urban legend feel to it.
Yes.
Where everybody knew what was happening and they were just like, yep, this is what sucks and you can't do anything about it. So don't go in that house.
Don't go there. And they were like wondering, like the only guy who survived. You know why? Because he didn't go in the first time. Then he did.
Right.
Then you get some weird shit like he sees his own daughter in the future and she sees him. And that comes into play later when she goes to his ghost and says, I saw you that day. Like, oh, everything about this.
Was it a future thing that he saw?
It was him. It was. He was alive.
Oh.
He saw her in the future.
Yes, he's in the future. Yeah.
Right. And
it was a little confusing with the different stories for every person.
Sure. I get that. But after you watch it again and say, okay, now I get it.
Yeah.
Because she says to his ghost, Dad, I saw you there at that house that day. And he looks at her pathetically. I was like, oh. So, yeah, I mean, everything about this is one of my favorite Asian movies of all time.
Yeah, top 3 for me.
I'll go with that. What do you think, Brian?
What about Tanya?
Tanya?
It's her first time watch, by the way.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of the Grudge movies.
Oh, wow.
This is the first one I've ever seen, and this really creeped me out.
Yeah?
I woke up and saw that lady bending over upside down over me. Oh, my God.
Goddamn kid with the cat mouth.
Or lift up your covers and there's the girl pulling you under. What?
She's popping out of your bra.
Yeah.
That was that's horrifying. I think I probably would have died of a heart attack right there. Yeah, this movie definitely creeped me out.
Without being like so terrifying that you can't watch. It's so good that you want to see more.
Yeah. And like this background where they don't, like you said, they don't focus on him, but he's there.
Yeah. They did the other, well, we'll get there. Never mind.
Yeah.
Which is cool considering it's got subtitles, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although our subtitle, I have a bootleg from 90s or whenever it came out, 2000.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the subtitles were hilarious. I don't know if you guys saw the same thing. What was some of them? We Are Suck.
Yeah, We Are Suck.
And
I don't think I saw that one.
There's a lot of them. When they showed like the missing girls on the the 3 on the poster. What did it say?
Find friendship or something like
find
that.
Us.
I was hoping that was
Find a friend or something
I was
like that.
I bet they do.
Find us something. Oh, it was so funny.
It was something
though.
like find a friend or something. Like
I'll take
that.
screenshots. I'll throw them on you guys' site.
That's the downfall of some of these is that they lose a little bit in translation. You know,
yeah.
I mean, because they
and they're
never
repeated though. It's just the same every time they'd show that. It was the same thing, and we'd laugh.
It was, they can never get that dialect exactly right. You know, like what you would be saying in English compared to what you would be saying in Japanese.
Yeah.
So it's always a little bit of a difference watching the foreign films.
Yeah.
But it worked. What do you think, Brian?
This one I was way more entertained.
Better than the Ring one.
Yeah. Unfortunately, my version I watched, I did not get no subtitles at all.
At all? So you just watched it in Japanese and went,
and added on, and the added factor that I've not seen the previous two, I was at a loss for trying to find what the story was about. But overall, I did like the look of Kayaku. Is that how you say it?
Yep.
Right.
Very creepy, especially the whole movement when she comes down the stairs, that sound she makes.
Final scene.
That little boy gets me every time he pops up on the screen.
Yeah.
Right?
But
under the covers when he's just like,
yeah.
what the fuck?
But overall, watching this definitely makes me want to go and watch the previous two because it got me. It got my interest. So
just don't be put off by the really low budget they had.
Okay.
Yeah, they're made for TV movies. So,
really?
Yeah, they're made for TV movies from 20 years ago in Japan.
And they look
Keep that in mind.
So it's like watching an asylum film, basically.
No, silent films have better quality than this.
Yeah, it's like someone shot it on like a SV camera, like a video camera. Oh yeah.
I was digging this one more than the Ringu movie. Yeah.
Me too.
As far as special effects and all that stuff.
Well, it wasn't really special effects, dude. It was just the way they used the effects.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like you were saying. I mean, they got a kid off in the background.
A kid in white paint in the background, or they cut him to a bed and they shoot away. Yeah.
And there was a scene where they just showed him in the reflection of a door, and if you weren't paying attention for that like quarter of a second scene, then you would have missed it. Yeah.
You pay attention. Like, holy shit, that's creepy.
Right. But everything that they did was really super creepy. It was.
That's how you do jump scares and tension.
That peekaboo trick that they play.
Dude, he just fucking stole the movie, that guy.
Yeah.
I love that
peekaboo.
The old man.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh man.
That peekaboo.
He's checking out her ass.
Yeah, he's like, move out of the way.
He's like, peekaboo, there's your ass.
That guy stole the movie.
Yeah,
no, I think I like this one even better. It came out a couple of years later, so they had some stuff to go on. But as far as Japanese horror goes, I mean, it was pretty on point. I mean, they were creepy as hell. I think the American version to me was kind of the same movie. It's been a long time since I remember it or since I've seen it, so it's kind of hard to remember. But it sounded like it was about the same sort of movie, with slightly better special effects, sort of like The Ring was.
Really? I thought it was like CGI crap with a cookie cutter plot that was.
They did the CGI thing, and they had some cookie cutter stuff in it, but like the scene in the shower, I remember in the American version, like the hands are coming out of the back of her head, and it was creepy as shit. And in this one, it was just some hands that were in the back of her hair, like Kayako was in the shower with her, which is creepy in a whole different sense.
Yeah.
But this one I can actually say holds up to the American version. It may be better. I really loved it. I think this was a better watch than the Ringu.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, scores.
I disagree with all of you, but
so what you think, Joey? What do you score it on 1 to 10?
I'm in at a 7. I think it's good. I think it's not. Okay. I think I was underwhelmed, and also confused. Which definitely, when you're when you got that little fire inside, and you're just a little fucking angry, and you're like, fuck, not as focused. But I mean, I think if I went in, and watched this without the anxieties of trying to get it in time for the show, trying to figure out what exactly is going on and have time to really digest it all, now that I kind of understand the plot a little more, it might be a different experience. But I gotta say, it definitely, I want to see the American version. It definitely, I'm not too interested in the television movies, but I'm interested in this world, right, that it could build. I mean, if you think about it, you have this house, anybody that goes in it is going to die. So this house is going to, live on before it's going to have some kind of time frame, right? The house is built, taken down, but maybe a new, say like a condo is built there, right? Next thing you know, there's even more people getting wiped out, but they could all have their own individial stories.
Well, it's not the land, it's the house itself.
Man, I don't fucking know, Bill. I'm just fucking trying to project here.
Like an Indian graveyard.
I'm trying to project.
Indian graveyard.
You know, I'm thinking like, yeah, like, you know, Pet Cemetery style.
Flamethrower, burn it down.
Yeah, from the
Don't even have to
outside,
go
bam.
That's what they tried to do, and then he didn't fucking do it.
Right, but he tried.
So yeah, then the house ain't going anywhere, you know?
The house won't let him do it. That's the thing.
That's why you stand outside and do it.
It's cursed. He tried. He was going to go out there and just burn it. Well, yeah, he went inside. You're
He
right.
went inside. That was the problem.
Yeah.
Kayako.
So your rating is a 7.5?
No, just a straight 7.
7.
Yeah, I thought it dragged at times. But the times it didn't, right? And it's really effective. So
Roger. Donnie, what you think?
Oh, I'm 9.5 on this.
9.5.
Yeah, if some of the all-time greatest jump scares, plenty of tension, suspense. It does exactly what I think a horror film should do expertly. A few touches where the confusing storyline kind of holds it up, but you know, what it does right as a horror film is much more important than what it doesn't for my own personal taste. So yeah, 9.5, easy.
Cool. Bill?
All right. I love the movie. I love everything about it. In fact, some of the acting, that old lady playing the mom.
Yeah.
I noticed like she had brown hair in one part and then white hair in one part. Like when did that transition? I don't know. In fact, Tanya mentioned it. She goes, look, she has brown hair there.
You scared the color out.
Yeah. So like little touches like that, I freaking love this. In addition to like the best jump scares, the best everything about a horror movie. This is horror. But I'm not going to go 9.5. I'm going straight 9 just because some of the ending was kind of confusing at parts where I didn't understand what happened. So like, I'm not going to say it, but the last story, I was like, huh? So I had to look it up. So yeah, I'm going to give it a straight 9 out of 10. This freaking movie rocks. This is one every horror fan should see.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I put this one way over Ringu.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right. Tanya?
The only thing I knew was a cursed house when I went into this because I haven't seen any of the other versions, American, Japanese, and it freaked me out. I was like, if I wake up and see that boy tonight, I'm sleeping in my car.
I'm glad I don't have cats.
His cat's outside. But
forever.
Yeah. Till 4 a.m. probably. Yeah, it freaked me out. I really love this movie. I gave it a 9.
Cool. Brian, what you think?
I'm gonna go straight 8. I'm definitely wanting to check out more of these movies. I thought Kayako was really creepy, and like I said, that every fucking time that kid pops up, it gets me. So 8 out of 10.
Now, do you believe that you would have had a higher rating on that if you had subtitles?
And understood what they were saying? Yeah.
You know what? This might be close to a 10 if I could actually follow what was going on in the story.
Yeah, because this one was kind of confusing with the whole Pulp Fiction thing they had going. Because I mean, it was I thought that on its own was kind of brilliant. You don't get a lot of movies that do it like that.
Right. No, but dude, Phil, the thing I'm saying is the part that was confusing for me was the ending with what was supposed to be Kayako's story, but it was someone else's, Rika, whatever her name was.
Yeah.
So that kind of confused me. I had to look that part up.
Oh, I feel like a lot of it was confusing, and I think some of it may just get lost in translation a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, and the poor dubbing. I mean, not dubbing, the subtitles were really funny at times, so I had to knock off a couple of there. So.
But I'm gonna give them definitely an A for effort on the transferring from person to person. I like that each person's story.
Yes.
Plus, then you got to see like 2 or 3 different kills.
Oh yeah.
And you know that haunted house did not spare anybody. They were mean as hell. Definitely a must watch. I'm gonna give it an 8.5.
Wow.
Yeah, I like it.
I agree.
Nice.
All right. Which leads us into The Ring versus The Grudge.
Donnie, what's the name of the movie?
Sadako versus Kayako.
Uh-oh. It's
Sudoku?
what was her name in the American version?
Oh, it was like what was her name in the American? The Ring?
Samara?
Samara, right?
Yeah, okay. So that's Sadako, and Kayako is the Grudge chick.
Yep.
So we're in for it now. It's like Freddy versus Jason in the Japanese world.
What is she called in the English Grudge?
I forgot. It's been.
I don't even think
once. I didn't like it.
It might be Kayako.
It might be.
They make,
went to
because
Japan,
it's set
right?
in Japan. It's set in Japan. I think that they kept it Kayako.
Yeah, because she went to Japan in the movie.
Yeah.
It might actually even be the same actress, if believe it or not.
Because
Shimizu did the 1 and 2, so I believe it may have even been the same actress playing Kayako.
Could be.
Well, that would be
contortionist or something.
I just looked it up. It's the same name.
Nice.
Check that out. There's an extra piece of trivia that we didn't even charge you guys for. It's free today. So our director is Koji Shirashi.
Shirashi. Shirashi.
Also known for Shirashi. No, not happening today. Also known for Grotesque and Occult. Writer is Koji Suzuki with Takashi Shimizu. Boy, you try to run over those, you'll trip over them. The project started out as an April Fool's gag, but became a reality due to strong fan interest.
Remember the baseball pitch they did?
Yeah. So that brings to the next one. For marketing, several pieces of merchandise and goodies playing in the cute aspect regularly used in Japan were released, such as cup hangers, beauty masks, and even a collaboration with the Hello Kitty brand.
Hello Kitty Sadako.
For real. Other goodies were more traditional, such as T-shirts, key rings, and doorknob hangers. To promote the film, an Instagram account was created for Kayako and Toshio, depicting humorous everyday life situations with the two ghosts.
They're not taking this movie seriously from the get-go.
Well, you would think, right? So
that's awesome. It's good. It's like Freddy versus Jason. You don't want the seriousness. You want to have fun with this.
That's what it is, man. And I think they were ready for people to have fun with it. So, what do you guys think about this one?
Who's first?
Why don't you go, Bill?
All right. I saw this when it premiered on Shudder. Was it a year or two ago? And I was down with it. I loved everything about this, but then I was like confused. I'm going, wait, how come they changed the lore from The Ring to say 2 days instead of a week?
Yeah, what was that all about?
Well, there's a reason. They actually explain it in the movie.
Oh.
But first, Tanya said something in when we were watching the first one. She goes, so if they watch it in a week, right? And then like on the 7th day, they watch it again. Do they have another week? Just keep watching it every day, like every week. You'd be all right. Anyway, no, but in this one, it's 2 days.
She broke Sadako.
She's like, God damn it, I can't kill you yet. But anyway, in this one, it's 2 days. That's a big change. You think they know the story behind this stuff? They wrote it, right? So anyway, the reason is, do you remember when the professor at the college was talking? He says all the rules in this were changed because of collective, what was it, conscience or collective?
The social media, the social media.
Right, he's saying that. Collective unconscious. That's it.
Right.
Collective unconscious is that whatever people believe now is the rules. So you know the game Telephone. It started off from like you get a week to live, and then it became 3 days to live, and then over the course of years it became 2 days to live.
All right.
That became the rule because that's what everyone believes.
The memes, so to speak, in 2016 when they were posting this shit. Right.
The memes. That's what controls it.
There you go.
So yeah, there's a reason for you. They explain it. So anyway, I love the fact that they show from the get-go, it's just nonstop fun. Just bam, the first thing you see is an old lady dead. Then bam, the caretaker, who is also a welfare worker, comes in to see from like the Grudge.
Mhm.
And bam, she dies with a knife in her throat. And then bam, like it goes wham, wham, wham. And they talk about, well, how could this cursed tape happen now with the internet and all this? And I'm like, yeah, exactly. But you get these people with their VHS tapes, these, you know, I don't know, Joey, what do you
Yeah, motherfucker.
That shit alive, right?
You got some VHS stuff over there?
Oh yeah. Got about
Yeah, he's-
I don't know 40, 50 VHSs.
Nice.
Oh, the old Disney?
Nah, just one, a Goofy movie.
Worth a shot.
But yeah, the fact that they talk about this, like who watches VHS anymore, and the internet's the thing, all this was addressed. I love that, and I
Yeah.
loved everything leading up to the end. The whole point about we go to the cursed house and we see her story, like everything. This is such a great setup. And then some people had a problem with, well, how come the ring, what's the name, the well's in the backyard? No, it's not. It's another well. It's trying to recreate what happened to her. So it's a well. It's not the same well. It doesn't have to be. So regardless, at the very end of the movie, I was all set to see this giant battle, and there was none. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And like they fused and became this girl in the well, and they came out, and it was the both world. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And then you don't even know what happens. Like cuts off short. I'm like, no, fuck that. No. For such a good movie. The little blind girl was awesome. The kick-ass, everything. The bullies, the four kids, and everything was great. And then the ending fucked it up. I'm like, this is only an hour and 38 minutes. Had this movie been 2 hours, they could have shown the ending. They could have resolved everything. They could have had a good battle.
They could have had a 20-minute fight scene.
Yes, that's what I was wanting.
Yeah, it needed it.
That's what you want. Like Freddy versus Jason, they had a big old 20-minute fight scene. That's what you wanted.
The rampage.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this movie, I loved it until the very end. That's my point.
And I am going to second every single fucking word Bill just said. I was 200% on board with this thing, and then no verses. Fuck
Right.
this.
I'm right with you too.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I was right there with it. I was so in love with this. I love all of the little in jokes to the series.
Yes.
I love that they keep both franchises completely true.
Yeah.
Everyone who goes into the house dies. You have the tape. You have, bringing the two to, how do you get to the videotape? You have the obsessed professor. I freaking loved that guy. He was like, oh my God, this is the one. This is the tape. And it's like,
I don't care about
dude,
it.
you just fucking cursed yourself. And it's like, yes,
I don't care about
get
that.
to see Kayak. I get to see Satako.
Awesome.
Great.
I'm super
Yes,
cursed.
it's like, I'm going to fucking die in 2 days. I just saw Kayako. And it's like, I am so on board with this.
There's an exorcism.
Yeah.
Where the
Yes.
fuck did that come
A
from?
hilarious exorcism.
Oh, that was so
There's some
cool.
rubbery,
Like,
stretchy
she
effects
just
in this
bitched-
movie.
Was she
Yeah, she
throwing
just, like-
buckets of holy water at him?
Yeah, she was drowning the girl.
Right? It's like
Hit her in the
water
face
torture.
twice. Yeah. Waterboarding
Yep.
with holy water.
Yeah.
And like,
And then she just
everything
bitch
about
slaps the
this-
one. She just bitch slaps the one girl, and
Yeah,
then it's
yeah, no hitting. Okay, bam.
Like, hey,
she just
I'm
hits the
pretty sure what you're doing is kind of shitty. And she's like, fuck you. Bah!
just bitch.
Then she headbutts a dude where his face becomes mashed up to beyond recognition.
That was a weird effect on that one.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I don't know
It's
what
like-
happened, but I stopped for a second and I was like, "What, did his head just get real big and orange?"
Dude, Evil Dead 2. Same shit.
Just like,
Yeah.
and then it was like bam, and he fell down. I was like,
Yeah.
"Wait, what happened?"
He didn't go 2 days though. Who cares? I
Yeah,
just love
like-
this fucking movie.
I know. I was so on board. I was so on board with this thing.
Oh, I want to see the little girl like unleash her real powers, like fucking
Right.
badass.
Yes.
They were
And
like
then
superheroes.
And then it's so cool because it's like, an hour and 20 minutes. It's like, they get to the house and it's like, oh, finally, they're going to have this big drag-on brawl. And then the only thing you get is like, two things of, they wrap their hair around their throat and it's like, that's the brawl.
One gets pulled in, one gets hair in her mouth. Like, come on.
Wow. But there was a head that got exploded and that was kind of cool. Except that it didn't really make a difference. It was cool at the moment.
So I'm 100. I'm 100% behind Bill. This is 90 minutes of awesome and then 10 minutes of ugh.
But what happened? No, there's no explanation. Did the guy die? That kick-ass magician guy? Who knows? Did the girl?
Kick-ass magician guy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't he get split in half?
No, he got pushed back with some hair. With the exploding hair.
No, they show the girl reviving him. They show the girl
reviving. She checked his pulse. That was it. We don't know if he's alive or not.
No, they don't. They don't tell you. They just leave it.
Be in the next one.
Yeah. If there's a next one, I was told by like Dave Z's like, oh, it's a great ending. I'm like, what the fuck are you smoking, dude? That is not a great ending. I want to see what happened.
I just watched the ending and I thought it was pretty good.
Dude, that's not a resolution to a movie.
It's what you were waiting for the whole rest of the movie, though.
Yeah.
True. Are you talking about the post-credits ending or
No. I didn't even see the post-credits part.
Oh, I didn't either.
Yeah, there's a post-credit scene.
Yes,
what
I don't know.
Yeah.
There? Spoiler.
Yes. Yeah. So it plays the videotape again, the one with Sadako. Only now
Yuri and Sadako, together with Kayako.
Well, hold on. I'm trying to get there. It's the Sadako videotape, but when instead of Sadako appearing, it's the merged version. It's the merged ghost that they merged into.
All three.
And then all of a sudden, instead of being at the back of the screen, it's like right there at the front, and then they just screech, and then it cuts to black.
Like Venom.
Like Venom.
Yeah.
So
buddy.
I'm gonna be right there with you guys. I was all on board through the first, 90 minutes of the movie, and it just fell short at the end. There was a couple times I got worried. The whole the little kid and the bullies in the house scene.
Right, I felt so bad for that kid, dude.
Yeah,
well, that's where I got worried. I thought they were gonna break the rules and let this little kid live and just kill the bullies, but no, they snatched his ass up and he was gone.
Yeah.
And then there was one scene in the house with the bullies that kind of pissed me off with the little boy. How they zoomed in on him in the background. You didn't need to do that.
Yes, that's what I was saying before. Is that you didn't need to see that.
Yeah.
If you just pass by it, and if you're a watcher and you see that, you're chilled. You don't zoom in on that to show that he's there. Exactly. That's fucking like spoon feeding. Right.
Yeah. Feed him, man. Feed him.
I had a lot of fun up until the end. I thought it just fell completely short for me. So,
yeah, I didn't mind the end so much. I just wish there was more of it. Like,
right, add 20 minutes more.
Yeah,
right?
Like you waited the whole movie for them to have the Sadako versus Kayako battle, and it only lasts a couple of minutes, and it doesn't happen until the very end of the movie. Yeah. Had they played that part up a little more, it was really just a Ring movie with The Grudge popped in at the end. But it was a lot of fun. It was, the Japanese version of Freddy versus Jason. And it sounds like it went over well there. I enjoyed it. They took themselves a whole lot more seriously than I would have expected them to. I expected a little more dumb fun, but it was still really cool to watch. It was fun.
Let me ask you a question. Like, if you were submerged in Japanese culture, would this movie be dumb fun for you? Right? Because the way things are portrayed on the screen, the way they use words and stretch words and stuff like that, like especially like seeing like the girls interact, they're like, they'll say a word, like say a word is like Haraku. They'll be like Haraku.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, they were playing that shit up, man.
So,
And
like,
I think dumb fun in Japan is exactly what it was too. It sounds like it probably did a whole lot better there than it did here, but it was still a fun movie to watch.
So the questions come up like this in my head, like, all right, now we have this new entity, which is a combo of the two. Like, are these two entities like gonna fight each other inside their own, body? Like, who's in control?
No. Well, they're merged now. They are a perfect killing machine, like Jaws.
I would say next movie, but unfortunately, the next movie was Signs.
What? Signs?
Yeah, last year's fucking Signs.
Jeez.
Wasn't that with Dan, the guy from Big Bang Theory?
Oh,
Rings.
him. Okay.
Oh, Rings.
Yeah, I said Rings, didn't I?
No, you said
No,
Signs.
he said Signs.
Signs. Holy shit! Yeah,
You
sorry.
got M. Night Shyamalan and
Yeah, not M. Night Shyamalan.
That makes more sense.
Freaking recorded at 1 o'clock.
well, like, what the Signs? What is this?
Rings, not
Ah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Vincent D'Onofrio. He was in there for a minute.
Man.
That's bad. All right. So, what do you guys think about scores on this one, Bill?
I'm gonna go with an 8.5. Now,
Yeah.
if there's a second movie, if there's not a sequel to this, 8.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm.
I found this fun. It definitely is not a full-on serious horror film like the other two were, but it's obvious it's a horror film. Don't get me wrong, but it's definitely the tone. The tone is totally different, and it's felt, but in a good way. If I was a fan of the series, this would probably be like a wet dream come true, but I'm not. So this is all new to me. But at the same time, it was fun. I thought the visuals looked good. Major improvements from those two original films we looked at. So that was cool. And looking visually, that end scene was sick. Maybe because I got to watch the end while on here I wasn't as gung ho and focused as I was in the first half of the movie. But like the first half of the movie, I thought was awesome when the professor starts talking about all the different
Yeah, you saw the slit mouth woman in there, right?
Yeah, Kuchisaki Onna.
I didn't get the other ones, the red cape or something, and the kid in the toilet. What the hell is
Hanako.
in the toilet. Yes,
Hanako. That's an actual urban legend. That's an actual. Yeah, Hanako. That's an actual legend. There's about 9 or 10 films.
Wait, who's Tanaka? The
detail-
toilet kid or the red cape?
Hanako. That's the toilet one. That's an actual urban legend in Japan. That actually ties into the Gakko no Kaidan series because several of the ripoffs of that franchise used the Hanako legend.
I was thinking Harry Potter, fucking moaning Myrtle. I don't know.
Watch your asses from that creature.
Yeah.
No, Hanako's an actual Japanese urban legend. It's about a student that was bullied to such a degree that she hung herself in the bathroom.
Hanged.
And she hanged herself in the bathroom and then kills everyone that goes into the bathroom just by themselves. If you go into the bathroom by yourself, you get killed by the ghost.
Is that how
if you go in
like in 4s and shit and 2s and 3s?
Oh.
I don't know, but that's just the Japanese legend. If you go to the bathroom by yourself, then you get attacked by the spirit. If you go in with a group,
all right,
then
is it only the girls' bathroom or is it the guys too?
It depends. They usually, because Hanako was a girl when she killed herself, it's usually schoolgirls. Because the Japanese have a fascination with schoolgirls in general, so they usually just use that as. Oh yeah, seriously. No, if you want to dive into Japanese schoolgirl films, you're gonna find yourself with.
Dude, 48 years old, I'll pass on the Japanese schoolgirls thing.
No, yeah, but it's usually schoolgirls or it's usually like boarding schools or high schools, just so that way they can get the exploitation element in. But they've actually even reused the legend for kids' films, believe it or not.
Yeah, like Harry Potter, Moaning Myrtle.
I don't care if she is a Japanese schoolgirl. I don't want her in my asshole.
Yeah, but that's what the Hanako legend is.
I'm
And
glad
then the
that's a real
Slipmouth
thing.
Woman one, that's an
Oh, we
actual.
know that. We're horror fans.
Yeah, but the Slipmouth Woman one, that's an in-joke to Koji Shirashi's earlier films because that's where he got his start, was making films based on that legend.
Yeah, and the
Lit
big.
mouth.
Huh?
Yeah, Carved a Slipmouth Woman.
Yeah, it's a big movie. Everyone knows that one.
Cool.
Yeah, and that's why they put that one first. That's another Japanese urban legend.
It's a really gory one too. I like that one.
Yeah, it's I like the sequel, Carve Zero.
I haven't seen Carve Zero.
Carve Zero is awesome. That one's a lot of fun.
So anyway, my rating is 7 out of 10. There you go, folks. And good.
7 out of 10.
And mine's
Yeah.
8.
What was yours, Tanya?
An 8.
8.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Alright.
between 8 and 8.5, so I'm just gonna Dave Z this and say 8.25.
There you go.
Oh,
Like I said, if they made a sequel and could show us what happens next, 8.5. If not, just stay in an 8.
Brian, what you think?
I'm also going to give it an 8, and I had to look it up because it was just bothering me. The psychic guy, he did get split in half.
Oh, did he?
Who?
So
Yeah.
he's dead.
The
Oh,
psychic,
the-
you know, the
Yeah, the guy with the he died.
yeah, yes.
Oh, wow. I
Yeah.
didn't think you did.
Me neither.
I love
just
the
saw,
little
like,
blind
black
chick,
shit
though,
on it.
man. That was
Yeah,
she was
badass
awesome.
stuff right there. They had their own little superhero seance guys.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were great.
I'm gonna get an 8 also. It was really fun. It was Japanese version of Freddy versus Jason, man. I took it a while to get there, but definitely worth watching. I'm glad I did.
Excellent.
Oh, is this your first time watch?
It was, yeah.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
my-
this was actually my
mine
first time
too.
watch for all of these.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the
Yeah,
American
yeah.
versions of everything, but not the Japanese, and obviously not this one.
Interesting. Very cool.
Yeah, this was the only one I had a first time watch on. So,
Mm.
of course, now I have.
not disappointed in the whole
No.
atmosphere. I loved it.
All right,
Japanese
now
horror?
I've got a question. I got a question for Joey, Bill, and Tanya. Which Asian threesome did you like more, theirs or mine?
Theirs.
Theirs.
Duh.
Most definitely.
Sorry, Don, but boxers only.
Fuckers.
Oof,
Oh, we're talking
Yeah,
about
you
Asian
fuckers.
threesomes now. We may get into a different
Yeah.
story.
that's in my Google search list.
Yeah, no, it's a reference to an earlier show I put together for them. I made them watch Dead Sushi, Mystics in Bali, and Boxer's Omen for one
Oh,
show.
geez, yeah.
Oh,
All right, I'm gonna make a challenge to you, Donnie. I'll give you an Asian
All right.
movie that we can watch on one of our shows.
All right.
Have you seen Tomie?
Tomie? I
Yeah.
haven't seen the original, but I've seen several of the sequels.
Ah, the first one.
Yeah, no, I think I've seen either Unleashed or Forbidden Fruit. It's like fourth or fifth in the series. I don't.
I've got like the first three. I have Tomie 2, and Tomie 0 or something. But
Yeah, I've seen Unleashed. It's either Unleashed or Forbidden Fruit. I'd have to look at them again.
all right, I'll present that one to you, and you let us know on one of our shows. How's that?
Cool. Yeah. Like
Sounds
I said,
good.
it's either Unleashed or Forbidden Fruit. I don't remember because I don't remember the order.
Right, I've got to go check which ones I've got too, but I know I've got the first one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of the later sequels. I haven't seen the original.
Okay.
No.
Joey, Tanya, sound okay for our show?
Okay.
there you go. All right.
Don't worry
Well,
about it.
Hey, these
I'll
guys
come
can
back with
join
a
us if they
vengeance.
want.
hell yeah, man. We're down. Let us know
Some
what's up, and we'll be on.
Ladder films from Japan, man.
But hey, thank you, Horror Mafia team. Thank you guys for coming on the show. Thank you guys for helping with our production aspect while the boss man's out.
Hey,
Can you tell our listeners where to find you and everything you guys have been up to lately?
Sure. You can find us on horrormafiapodcast.com. You could find us on Facebook, facebook.com/horrormafia. Those are our two main things. You could email us, contact@horrormafia.com. You could send us individual Facebook messages. We're more than happy to shoot the breeze. Bill will find you on Tinder. You can set up a date.
no, man, that's
Oh.
Grinder.
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 You can also hear Bill and I on Slice and Dice Dreadcast.
Hey,
Also on the Horrorphilia Network, where you can find both shows, where we tackle horror films, and now switched up a little, where we're covering horror and non-horror films. So
yeah, how about that?
how about that? We had a good show last time where we covered Tombstone, and
Nice.
Never
that
saw that
opened up,
until then. Nice.
it opened up a lot of doors. So great conversation for an hour, and we realized, you know what? Why not? We'll slice and dice it up a little bit and get a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
A little bit of everything, yeah.
Cool.
And you can find the best horror memes on the net on Instagram, slice_and_dice_dreadcast, ran by J-Mac. Shout out.
Yo, J-Mac.
And you can find me on a second podcast called Underwater Kaiju from Outer Space. It's run under the Kill the Cast feed. We basically look at giant monster movies and Ultraman. So we run through each of these episodes. We're recording our third, I think, in a couple weeks from now. So if you're into giant monster movies from Japan or elsewhere around the world, come check us out.
Right on.
Cool.
Sounds like somebody's watching a monster movie in the background.
Not here.
Yeah, dude, I'm sorry. There's a storm going on, and we have a little farmhouse on stilts. So there's some wind in the background, guys.
That's wind?
Cover it up with the pillows and shit, but it
sounds like Sudoku or whatever.
There's a storm up brewing.
Kayaku's coming.
Yeah.
She might be. But thank you guys for putting up with our storm. And as always, we want to thank you for listening to another episode of The Horror Returns. We'd love to hear your feedback and ideas. You can always reach us at thehorrorreturns@gmail.com or check us out on any of the other social media feeds, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Podbean, Tumblr. Go leave us a review on iTunes right now if you haven't done that yet. We got some contests going, right, Brian?
Yeah, you can win a t-shirt or a beer koozie.
Nice.
Yeah, we got them in the works, man. It's happening. Go leave us a
one of
review.
those tonight, man. I'm telling you. Look at this.
Yeah.
Naked.
Hey, you guys can go leave us a review. Yeah. T-shirt.
Right, I'm good.
Speaking of contests, I forgot to plug that. We do on Horror Mafia Podcast, we do raffles every couple weeks where we give away stuff to our listeners. And we've done a couple of things, some Blu-rays. We had an autographed picture from Paris Jean where it had all 4 of his characters from the Hatchet franchise in Lego form. Special little note to a paisan out there, whatever. We got some pins that are in the mix, but you could leave us an iTunes review and you get enrolled for free. Or you can get 2 entries by joining our Patreon, patreon.com/Horror Mafia Podcast. $1 gets you 2 entries, early release access, bonus content, and more. So check that out. Get your free raffle on. We got a couple of things in store. We got some toys lined up, some pins lined up, and all that good shit.
Cool. Well, next week for us, it's our 100th episode.
Yeah.
And,
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Since Lance isn't here this week, Brian and I hereby pick the ultimate Horror Returns movie, The Avengers Infinity War. Of course, Lance will bitch about it when he gets back.
Lance is full of shit. He's going to love that movie.
Oh, I know he is. And we'll also each go over our top 10 horror films of all time. Don't miss this jam-packed show. It's going to be awesome. So until the horror returns again, Brian?
Good night.